The vast majority of people over 60 live believing in a dangerous myth that can cost them their autonomy and, in extreme cases, their lives. There's a popular belief that to know if your kidneys are having problems, you need to feel a sharp pain in your back, in the lumbar region where they are located. But medical science and modern nephrology reveal a frightening truth. Chronic kidney disease is a silent killer. When physical pain finally appears in the kidney area, the organ has often already lost most of its vital capacity to function, leaving few options besides invasive treatments like hemodialysis. What almost no one tells you is that long before any discomfort in your back or visible change in the color of your urine, your body emits cries for help through a specific part of your anatomy that is often ignored: your feet. Your kidneys may be failing right now, silently, and the signs are imprinted on your lower extremities, just waiting for you to know how to read them. In this video, we're going to transform the way you view your health and perform a true visual checkup without leaving home. I'll teach you to identify exactly 10 clear physical signs in your feet that act as an early warning that your natural filters are clogged and losing their ability to eliminate toxins. Gravity and peripheral circulation make the feet the first place where the waste from inefficient filtration accumulates. Understanding these signs is key to seeking medical help early, preventing progression to total kidney failure and avoiding devastating cardiovascular complications. Before we begin this list that could save your kidneys, I need you to take a moment to reflect and answer me in the comments. Lately, have you noticed your feet are more swollen or have any strange sensations like tingling at the end of the day? Write yes or no in the comments, as your answer is crucial for understanding your current level of alertness. Chronic kidney disease is not just a distant medical term. It's a frightening statistical reality and far more common than we imagine. Major health institutions, such as the Brazilian Society of Nephrology, warn that 1 in 10 people worldwide has some degree of kidney function loss. And when we look at our age group over 60, this number skyrockets, driven by frequent companions of aging, high blood pressure, and diabetes. The most alarming fact, however, is that about 90% of these people simply don't know their kidneys are suffering. They continue their lives ignoring minor swellings or itches, treating them as things of old age or simple dermatological problems, while internally, their vital organs are crying out for help and silently losing the battle against the body's own toxicity. To understand why the feet are the main indicators of this process, we need to visualize the kidney as it really is: a sophisticated water treatment plant and a high-precision filter. Its primary function is to separate vital nutrients from toxic waste. When this treatment plant begins to fail, it stops eliminating excess sodium and water from your body. Here, basic physics acts on physiology. Gravity is relentless. All this fluid that should have been eliminated in urine remains in the body and, due to gravity, descends and accumulates at the lowest possible point, which are your feet and ankles. But it's not just accumulated water, it's a glaring physical sign that the hydroelectrolytic balance, the fundamental chemical balance of your life, is broken. The situation becomes even more critical when we analyze mechanisms like albuminuria, which is the loss of important proteins in the urine. Imagine that blood needs certain proteins, such as albumin, to hold water within the blood vessels, functioning like a magnetic sponge. When the kidney is diseased, it allows this protein to leak out and go down the drain. Without it, oncotic pressure decreases and fluid escapes from the vessels, flooding the tissues of your feet and causing that characteristic swelling. Furthermore, the accumulation of heavy toxins, such as urea and creatinine, begins to circulate freely in your bloodstream. This dirty blood is corrosive to the peripheral nerves, generating uremic neuropathy, a condition where the nerves in the extremities are chemically damaged, sending confusing signals of pain and numbness. In addition to filtering, your kidneys are vital producers of hormones, including erythropoietin, which is responsible for directing the bone marrow to create red blood cells. When kidney function declines, the production of this hormone plummets, leading to a chronic and silent anemia that robs your extremities of heat and oxygen, leaving your feet perpetually cold. There is also a serious imbalance in the metabolism of minerals such as calcium and phosphorus, directly affecting the integrity of your bones and the appearance of your skin. Therefore, looking at your feet now is not vanity, it's an act of preventive self-diagnosis based on pure physiology. Now that you understand the mechanism behind the problem, Let's translate this into 10 clear visual signs that you can check right now. Get ready, because from now on, we're going to go through a vital list of the 10 most revealing signs your feet can show about your kidney health. I've organized these points in a way that allows you to do a guided self-examination while watching me. I strongly suggest you pay attention to every detail. And don't skip any topics, because while some are sensations you might be confusing with tiredness, others are very specific visual alerts. Sign number 3, for example, is a bizarre change in the nails that almost no one associates with the kidneys, but which is a very strong clinical marker. And number 10 may finally explain that nighttime discomfort that has been keeping you awake for years. Let's start with the most classic sign, but the most misinterpreted of all. The first sign on our list is what we clinically call pitting edema, or popularly, the finger sign. I want you to do a simple test right now. Firmly press your thumb against the front of your ankle or the top of your foot against the bone and hold for about 5 seconds. When you remove your finger, immediately observe the skin. If a deep mark remains, like a depression or a hole that takes a few seconds to return to normal, this is not just fat or common swelling. This is fluid accumulated in the interstitial tissues. Unlike the mild swelling from a hot day or standing for a long time, which disappears when you raise your legs, renal edema is persistent and has this Play-Doh characteristic, indicating severe fluid retention. This happens because your kidneys, which should act as strict managers of the body's water volume, have lost the ability to filter sodium properly. When sodium is retained in the blood, it pulls water along like a magnet. The failure of glomerular filtration allows this excess fluid to flood your system, and gravity takes care of depositing it all in your lower extremities. If you notice that your shoes are getting tight throughout the day and that this toe mark persists, your body is screaming that the drainage system is clogged. And if you think swelling is bothersome, the next sign is even more disturbing, as it directly affects your skin and comfort in a way that moisturizing creams can't solve. The second sign is uremic pruritus, an intense and deep itching that seems to come from under the skin. Many patients report scratching their feet and legs until they bleed, but the feeling of relief never comes. This is because the problem is not on the surface of the skin where creams act, but rather in the bloodstream that irrigates that skin. In a healthy body, the kidneys filter excess minerals such as phosphorus and eliminate metabolic toxins. When kidney function declines, phosphorus accumulates dangerously and begins to deposit in the skin, causing continuous nerve irritation. It's a desperate cycle. You feel the itching, but there's no insect bite, allergy, or external dryness to justify such intensity. Many elderly people treat this as dry skin of old age, spending fortunes on dermatological lotions, unaware that they are dealing with what we call dirty blood or uremia. The body, in its desperate wisdom, is trying to eliminate toxins through the skin because the main pathway, the kidneys, is failing. If you feel this, persistent itching, especially at night, raise the alarm. And speaking of taking care of our health and our families, if you find this information valuable and want to protect those you love, please make sure you've already liked this video and subscribed to the channel. This helps YouTube show this warning to more people who may be suffering without knowing it. Now let's move on to the third sign, which is visually shocking and appears on your nails. The third sign is known in medicine as Lindsay's nails or half-and-half nails. I ask you to look at your toenails now. This can also appear on your fingernails, but the focus here is on peripheral circulation. In a healthy nail, the color is evenly pink. However, in chronic kidney disease, a very specific phenomenon occurs. The half of the nail closest to the cuticle becomes white and opaque, while the other half, at the tip of the nail, becomes reddish, brown, or dark pink. This is not a bruise or fungus. It is a clear, linear color division that remains even as the nail grows. This two-toned alteration is a visual sign of azotemia, which is an excess of nitrogenous compounds, urea, in the blood, combined with chronic edema in the nail bed, the flesh just below the nail. The toxins alter the pigmentation and vascularization of that tiny area. It is one of the most specific signs of systemic kidney disease and appears in a significant percentage of patients who already have compromised kidney function. Identifying Lindsay's nails is practically an instant visual diagnosis that something is wrong with your filtration. And if this color change is already worrying, what happens to the temperature of your feet in the next item will help you understand how the kidneys even control your body heat. The fourth sign is a physical sensation that many ignore, believing it's simply a matter of poor circulation or age, having constantly cold feet. If you're someone who needs to wear thick socks even on hot days, or whose extremities feel like ice cubes while the rest of your body is normal, pay close attention. The real cause could be anemia of renal origin. Few people know this, but the kidneys are responsible for producing a vital hormone called erythropoietin, which signals your bone marrow to produce red blood cells. When the kidney becomes diseased, this production stops. With fewer red blood cells circulating, less oxygen and heat reach the tips of your toes. Therefore, this persistent coldness doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. It's the result of a lack of fuel in your blood, signaling that your kidney's hormone factory may be shutting down. And while this coldness is silent, the next sign announces its arrival with unbearable pain. We've reached the fifth sign, which is perhaps the most painful on the list: toe pain, popularly known as gout. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night feeling like there are shards of glass inside the joint of your big toe, which becomes red, hot, and untouchable. Gout occurs when there is excess uric acid in the blood, which crystallizes in the joints. The crucial point here is to understand that uric acid is a substance that a healthy kidney should filter and eliminate in urine. When you have frequent gout attacks, don't just blame red meat or alcohol. Blame the filter that has stopped working. The kidney has lost its ability to clean this byproduct, turning your joints into deposits of sharp crystals. It's a brutal warning that filtration is compromised. But paradoxically, while uric acid causes extreme pain, the next sign is dangerous precisely because it takes away your ability to feel. The sixth sign is numbness and tingling, technically called neuropathy. Have you ever felt that pins and needles sensation, as if your foot were asleep, or the feeling of stepping on cotton, losing sensitivity to the ground? This happens because uremic toxins, remember the waste that the kidney didn't get rid, begin to circulate at such high levels that they act as poison to your peripheral nerves, corroding their protective sheath. This is very serious, as it drastically increases the risk of falls and, worse, prevents you from feeling small cuts or wounds. For diabetics, this is a direct path to diabetic foot and amputations, all starting with kidney failure that has poisoned your nerves. And if you feel tingling during the day, at night your muscles may react violently, as we will see below. The seventh sign is the dreaded night muscle cramps. I'm not talking about the common cramp after intense exercise, but about sudden painful spasms in your feet and calves that make you jump out of bed screaming in pain. The kidneys are the conductors of your body's chemical orchestra, precisely regulating electrolyte levels such as potassium, calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium. When they fail, this orchestra is completely out of tune. The imbalance of these minerals causes your muscles to contract involuntarily and sustainably. If you have been suffering from these night cramps frequently, understand that it's not just lack of bananas. It's a systemic chemical imbalance caused by kidneys that have lost control of mineral metabolism. And this mineral dysregulation leads us directly to the next point, which will explain why the skin on your feet is changing texture in a way that no moisturizer can fix. The eighth sign goes far beyond aesthetics and is often mistaken for a lack of personal care. Excessively dry and flaky skin, clinically known as xerosis. Now observe the heels and tops of your feet. If the skin is cracking, with a fish scale texture and a grayish or yellowish color that doesn't improve, understand that this isn't just dry weather. This condition occurs because uremia, the accumulation of toxins in the blood, causes atrophy of the sebaceous and sweat glands. Without these glands functioning, your skin loses its natural hydration and protection barrier. A diseased kidney literally dries you out from the inside, leaving the skin vulnerable and brittle, creating entry points for bacteria that your already weakened body will have difficulty fighting, which leads us directly to the next critical point. The ninth sign is a red alert for your immune and vascular systems: non-healing wounds. Have you ever noticed a small cut, a blister from your shoe, or a scratch on your foot that took weeks to close or never seems to heal completely? In chronics, kidney disease, poor peripheral circulation prevents nutrient-rich blood from reaching the site of the injury to repair it. Furthermore, the body's chronic inflammatory state hinders the efficient action of defense cells. What should be a simple healing process becomes a losing battle, where a small injury can quickly evolve into an infected ulcer. If you have diabetes, this risk is multiplied. But even without diabetes, kidney failure alone can sabotage your regenerative capacity. Finally, we arrive at the 10th sign, which is perhaps the most distressing from a neurological point of view: restless leg syndrome. If, when you lie down at night, you feel an inner agony, an uncontrollable and electric urge to move your feet and legs for relief, know that this is not mania or stress. Studies show a very strong link between this syndrome and kidney disease, mainly due to anemia and iron deficiency in the central nervous system, conditions caused by poor kidney function. It is your body's inability to relax due to an internal chemical imbalance. Identifying one or more of these 10 signs is the first step to regaining control, but what you should do exactly from now on will define your future, and it is about this action plan that we will talk about next. Having identified one or more of these signs in your feet may have generated feelings of fear or anxiety, and I want to reassure you that this is perfectly normal and understandable. Nobody likes to think that a vital part of their body might be failing, and the word kidney disease carries enormous weight in our minds. However, I need you to transform this initial fear into the power to take immediate action. The worst possible scenario is not discovering a symptom today. The worst possible scenario is ignoring it until it's too late. Your feet have just given you a valuable and irreplaceable gift: time. They have given you a real chance to act before back pain appears, or invasive procedures like hemodialysis become an absolute necessity. You now possess privileged information that 90% of kidney patients unfortunately did not have before late diagnosis. Understand that the human body is a biological machine programmed for survival, and these symptoms, swelling, itching, nail changes, are its safety system triggering the fire alarm while the fire is still just a controllable spark. Recognizing these signs shouldn't be seen as a death sentence, but rather as an urgent invitation to maintain your health. The vast majority of these problems, when detected at this peripheral warning stage, can be managed clinically, and the progression of the disease can be drastically slowed or stabilized. You are not at the mercy of fate or luck. You are in control of your own health, provided you decide to take the next logical and rational step, which is to seek scientific confirmation of what your feet are suggesting. The practical and urgent step you must take starting today is very simple, but it requires you to overcome inertia and denial. Don't try to self-diagnose completely online, nor start taking miracle teas or supplements without guidance, as this can further overload your already fragile kidneys. Your mission is to schedule an appointment with a trusted general practitioner, geriatrician, or ideally, nephrologist. And when you arrive at the office, you won't just say, "I think I have something." You'll show your feet, report persistent swelling, nighttime cramps, or constant coldness. This clarity and wealth of information will help your doctor skip investigative steps and get straight to the point in the clinical diagnosis, saving precious time. There are two extremely simple, inexpensive blood and urine tests available at any health center or laboratory that you should keep in mind and request: the blood creatinine test and the urinalysis, type 1, with albuminuria screening. Creatinine is a muscle waste product that a healthy kidney easily eliminates. If it is high in your blood test, it unequivocally means that the filter is clogged. The urine test will show if you are losing albumin, that protein sponge that should retain water in the blood. These tests are painless, quick to perform, and serve as the definitive truth test to confirm whether the signs you saw in your feet are truly of renal origin or of another nature. With the creatinine results in hand, the doctor will calculate your estimated glomerular filtration rate. Think of it like your cell phone, battery percentage, or your car's engine efficiency. If your kidneys are functioning at 60%, 50%, or 40%, that exact number will dictate the treatment plan. Often, small adjustments to blood pressure medication, stricter blood sugar control if you are diabetic, and adequate protein and salt intake are enough to keep this rate stable for years or even decades. The goal of modern medicine at this stage is not necessarily to cure chronic kidney disease, which is not always possible, but rather to preserve every remaining percentage of function, ensuring your quality of life and longevity. Therefore, the fundamental message I want to instill in your mind before we conclude is one of hope grounded in science and action. Kidney failure, or the onset of chronic kidney disease, doesn't have to be the end of your independence or your life plans. By listening to your feet today, you are protecting your heart, your brain, and ensuring you can see your grandchildren grow up healthy. Medicine has evolved significantly, and we have powerful tools to protect the kidneys, but these tools only work if the patient arrives at the doctor's office in time. You've already done the hardest part, which is to overcome ignorance and recognize the signs. Now, you just need the courage to get tested and take control. And to help you solidify all of this, let's move on to our closing, where I want to hear from you. We've reached the end of this journey of discovery about your own body, and I hope you now see your feet not just as the foundation that supports your weight, but as faithful messengers of your inner health. The thesis we defended at the beginning has been confirmed. Your feet do, in fact, function as an early warning system for your kidney health, anticipating pain and allowing for intervention that can change the course of your life. Throughout this video, we dismantled the myth that kidney disease is always synonymous with back pain and equipped you with 10 powerful visual tools to monitor your own physiology. This knowledge is the bridge between the fear of the unknown and the security of prevention, allowing you to protect your vitality and continue enjoying precious moments with your family. I want to emphasize that applying what we've learned here is entirely possible for anyone, regardless of age or current physical condition. You don't need expensive equipment or complex medical knowledge. You just need a mirror, good lighting, and a few minutes of loving self-care. Observing any swelling that leaves a mark, checking the color of your nails, or noticing if your skin is excessively dry are simple acts of self-care that translate into years of improved quality of life. Don't underestimate the power of these small daily observations. They are the first step in ensuring your kidneys continue filtering toxins and maintaining the chemical balance your body needs to function fully. Now, I would really like to hear your voice and learn from your experience. Our community grows and strengthens when we share our experiences, breaking the silence that often surrounds health problems in old age. So, tell me in the comments, which of the 10 signs we presented today caught your attention the most, or which one will you start monitoring from now on? Perhaps you have already experienced that nighttime cramp and didn't know the cause, or noticed 2 colored nails. Write your story or your question below. I read the comments, and your participation can encourage someone else to seek medical help in time. If this content brought clarity to you, and you believe that health is our greatest asset, I invite you to officially become part of our family here on the channel. Subscribing costs nothing, but it ensures that you and the YouTube algorithm prioritize your longevity. By clicking the subscribe button and activating the bell, you guarantee that you won't miss the next videos, where we will continue to unravel the body's signals and bring practical guides to living longer and better after 50. Share this video with that friend or family member who has diabetes or high blood pressure. This simple gesture of sending a link can be the push they need to save the kidney health of someone you love. Always remember, your kidneys are tireless and silent workers, often suffering in silence until they can't take it anymore. But your feet, thankfully, are talkative and expressive. They speak through swelling, temperature, color, and sensitivity. Your task from today onward is to listen to them with attention and respect. Take care of your foundation, look down with affection, and you will be taking care of your entire future. A big hug, much health to you and your kidneys, and until our next meeting. Legal notice and medical recommendation. The content presented in this video is strictly educational and informative, based on general medical and physiological literature. The information contained herein does not, under any circumstances, replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Never ignore medical advice or delay seeking professional help because of something you have seen in this video. If you have identified any of the symptoms described, the correct and safe recommendation is to schedule an appointment with a nephrologist or general practitioner for confirmatory laboratory tests.